All right, picture this. We're stepping into a space that's not quite our world and not quite the next. It's a shadowed crossroads where ancient powers and the modern world are about to have a serious collision. Because right here, three incredibly potent spirits have gathered. Not for a ceremony, but to air some grievances. They've got a few things to get off their chests about us, the living. And look, these are not just any spirits. These are the barons, the masters of the cemetery, the Gede. They are the final stop, the gatekeepers of life, death, and literally everything in between. And tonight, under this moonless sky, they're here to talk about us and why we so often and so completely get them wrong. First up to the mic is probably the most famous of the three, Baron Samedi. You can almost smell that thick, pungent cigar smoke as he leans on his cane, that iconic top hat tilted just right. Now, he's known as the life of the party, but tonight, that skeletal grin holds absolutely no humor. See, this is the core of Samedi's problem. People love the spectacle. They love his wild jokes, his provocative dancing, his constant demand for rum. But they seem to conveniently ignore the solemn truth of who he is. He is the gatekeeper for every single soul that passes, the one standing right at the threshold between the living and the dead. And this right here gets to the heart of his complaint. That shovel isn't just a prop for a costume. It is the tool of his sacred and very serious trade. He's the one who digs every single grave. All the revelry, all the chaos, it's a mask. It's how he copes with the immense weight of his duty. So yeah, people want the party, but they are terrified of its actual purpose. Now, the air shifts. It gets colder, quieter. Baron LaCroix steps up, adjusting his silver spectacles, his gaze incredibly sharp and intellectual. His voice isn't a booming growl like Samedi's. No, it's more like the sound of dry leaves rustling across a tombstone. You have to understand, LaCroix's role is just profound. He's not just some spirit of death. He is the archivist of existence itself. I want you to imagine a ledger, a massive book that contains the details of every life, every single breath ever taken, every second lived. He is the keeper of that final, sacred record. So his disdain, it comes from our sheer wastefulness. He watches humanity just squander these finite, precious moments on vanity, on distractions. For him, the one who sees the beginning and the end of every single story, our casual belief that we have endless time isn't just naive. It's a deep, profound insult to the sanctity of his entire archive. Okay, so that quiet intellectual moment, it is about to be completely shattered. The third figure, Baron Criminal, now steps forward. He is the raw, the untamed, the violent force among them. You can feel the atmosphere start to crackle with this intense energy, even before he makes a sound. And then it happens. With this guttural roar, Criminal slams his heavy iron shovel down against a stone. Sparks just fly into the darkness, and the sharp, metallic clang echoes through the whole graveyard. The time for quiet thought is over. Now it's time for pure rage. Criminal's fury is aimed squarely at the hypocrisy of the living. People cry out his name when they need a protector, right? When they need a weapon against their enemies. But the moment he delivers the very justice they begged him for, in all its raw, bloody, fiery truth, they shrink back. They call him a monster. He is just done being a convenient weapon for cowards. So, out of all this individual anger, a unified critique starts to form. The Baron's separate complaints about our silliness, our wastefulness, our cowardice, they all merge to target humanity's biggest blind spot, our complete inability to see the whole picture. To them, our neat little categories are just absurd. We fear the skull, the symbol of death, and so often we fear the raw, generative power of the phallus, the symbol of life. But for the Barons, there's no contradiction there at all. They're two sides of the exact same coin, this endless, beautiful, messy cycle of creation and decay. And it's Samedi who delivers the final mocking punchline to this shared point. It's such a simple, earthy truth, isn't it? New life can only grow from that which has died and rotted away. Trying to separate the two isn't just foolish, it's impossible. They are just so tired of being judged as good or evil by minds that refuse to grasp this fundamental paradox. And now their diatribe takes a really sharp turn. The Baron's focus shifts away from humanity in general and zooms in on the practitioners themselves, the very people who call their names, who light their candles, but who, maybe, have forgotten the true meaning behind the work. You can hear the sorrow in Baron Lacroix's voice here. He sees the rituals, he sees the right colors being worn, but he feels the memory fading. He's lamenting that the new generations are forgetting the immense struggle, the history of slavery and oppression, the actual chains that forged these traditions. And this forgetting, it isn't just disrespectful, it actively dilutes the very power they're trying to call upon. Criminal steps forward again, but his rage now is focused, like the tip of a spear. He spits a mouthful of peppered rum, his eyes glowing, as he reminds the world of the one fundamental truth that underpins their entire existence. Their domain, the cemetery, is the one place where human power, wealth, and influence mean absolutely nothing. They are the final court of appeals for the oppressed. They are the ultimate incorruptible judges. The graveyard is the most honest place on earth, because in the end, everybody is stripped bare. And with their message delivered, the Baron's forms start to dissolve back into the mists of the crossroads. Their anger has been spent, their frustrations have been voiced. All that's left now is the lingering scent of rum, tobacco, and that damp, rich smell of graveyard earth. Their individual voices fade into this single haunting echo, leaving behind this one final stark command. And that's not a request, it's a warning. Their power is not a toy. It demands respect, it demands understanding, and above all else, it demands honesty. So, where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with a really critical question. The Baron's diatribe isn't just a story about ancient spirits. It's a parable about our relationship with any sort of power, whether that's tradition or history or justice. It forces us to ask ourselves, when we call upon these great, powerful forces, are we really prepared for the whole truth of what they are? Or do we just want the convenient parts that make us feel comfortable? Do we truly understand the price?